And welcome back to Black Renaissance, everyone. Up next from the James Irvine Foundation, please welcome Ted Russell. Ted, welcome.
Thank you.
So good to have you talking about the James Irvine Foundation today. And I think this is a foundation that many of us have heard and that has sway over a couple of different areas and really promotes Californians and is involved with in a number of different ways. So talk to me about what exactly your foundation grants money for and helps promote right here in the state.
Absolutely. James Irvine Foundation is headquartered here in San Francisco, and we support the state of California through 3 programs: arts, California democracy, and youth.
And so it really is a diverse sort of array there, right?
That's right. That's right. The arts program, we support cultural activities. California democracy really focuses on our representative government, make sure all people have a voice in our cities and our state. And then the youth program focuses on youth ages up to 25 and giving them opportunities, especially by focusing on the high schools.
Let's talk about why it's so important to focus on art in particular here in California. Do we have a lot of arts education programs out there, and what does yours do differently?
Yeah, there are some great arts education programs, and luckily arts education is coming back into the public schools.
We like to hear that.
Right. Well, we focus on adults when they're beyond those programs, and there's a whole generation of adults that didn't receive that great support. And we're focusing not just on people seeing the arts in galleries, on going to performances, but them actually making art as well, or taking some of those great arts institutions that have facilities and going into the communities so people can enjoy the arts pretty much everywhere.
I would think that's actually an area that is sort of overlooked. I mean, you're right. We have the arts education from a young age and throughout school. And then when you become an adult, you're out there on your own? So it's great to have a program like that.
Yeah, the arts have such great impacts. When people make art, it actually just makes you happy, gets you involved, reminds you of what a creative person you can be, and it has great social benefits. It produces social tolerance as we come to understand each other. People get more involved and interested in their communities just from being hands-on and making art themselves.
And talk to me about what kinds of programs you're funding.
Yeah, absolutely. We fund groups all over California. Here in the Bay Area, people may know groups like the Yerba Buena Center for the Arts, the Oakland Museum of California, the California Shakespeare Theater, known as Cal Shakes. Well, we support groups like those, really getting more involved in communities and also working with the diversity of people who may not have been served by the arts previously. So we're talking about various diverse ethnic groups that have been underserved, as well as low-income Californians.
Really? Okay. So how does that impact the Black community in particular?
Exactly. So this is a big part of it. We have a long history in the state. So we have groups like the Oakland Museum that, in addition to having programs that are inviting people to come to the museum, they go out, and a lot of it's about art making. So, for example, they have an Oakland Art Rover, a mobile unit that goes out, and recently at the Malcolm X Festival, there was a parasol making component there. So people can make a parasol, be right there at the event. They didn't have to go to the museum, and it went right to the community where blacks could be involved.
That's awesome. And so you're actually going around just kind of sharing art wherever you can.
Absolutely. We
That's
support the groups that are interested in reaching our communities to do that. That includes some of the larger institutions that serve all of our communities and other black institutions that have a long history, like Cultural Odyssey or MOAD.
Okay. What can we expect to see from you coming up next?
Absolutely. We keep funding every year. Our arts budget is approximately $14 million a year. As I said, we support groups all over the state, but we're always looking for opportunities to fund groups that are interested in helping people make art, reaching out to their communities and focusing on these underserved audiences. So we're always looking for new grantees that are arts organizations interested in going out to communities in those kind of ways.
That's fantastic. We always like to hear there's a lot of money out there. So, you know, being able to apply for that money and have that opportunity. I have to assume these are competitive grants.
Extremely competitive. Well, think about it. Just here in the Bay Area alone, we have some of the best arts organizations in the nation. And they come up with some great ideas. So that's the challenging part of my job.
Well, that's a good challenge to have. How much grant money have you given away?
Well, geez. Over the course of time, the Irvine Foundation has given away $1 billion.
A billion with a B.
The foundation was founded in 1937, so it's had a lot of impact on Californians across that time. But our annual budget is more in the order of $80 to $90 million a year. Still pretty significant.
That's it, just 80 to 90 million. Amazing. That is great work. Thank you so much for joining us here on the show. For more information about the James Irvine Foundation, you can visit irvine.org. That's irvine.org. We'll be right back.